Aftershock 2025, dude, it wasn't just wild. It was the biggest one ever. Over 164,000 people from all 50 states, over 30 countries. I mean, these people were coming from all over the damn place. 115 bands played for 4 days of absolute, complete madness. All right. The city of Sacramento even trotted out the mayor and a couple other state suits to give DWP a stack of official proclamations like, we proclamate that you are awesome and you give us, we make so much money because of you. Like $30 million this festival brings in over the weekend. It sells out every single hotel room in the area and even the surrounding area. Like, it's a lot of money that gets brought in here, and they literally are honoring this dude for turning Sacramento into the West Coast rock festival capital of America or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what they did, but they put him up on stage. They had a dude from Sirius XM out there, and it was a big celebration. I don't know. I didn't know the mayor was such a rock fan. Although I did see that guy on. He's a weird looking dude. Let me be honest with you. The mayor of Sacramento, I'm not attractive, but that guy, he looks like Lurch. You know what I mean? No offense, guy. I didn't vote for you. Anyway, they hooked DWP up, which honestly is fair because he deserves it for everything he's brought to Sacramento, not just Aftershock, but also the country festival and the other things that they actually do around here. So I think it's well deserved. But anyway, we had Blink-182, Manson, Rob Zombie, Deftones, Chimaira's first West Coast show in like over a decade, even GWAR. 40th anniversary bloodbath for GWAR. So there was blood everywhere. People would just walk around like they got their asses kicked. Literally, this year had everything. And somehow I managed to get food poisoning, crowd surf strangers, take photos with so many people that I felt like a bootleg Travis Barker. I watched some girl eat dirt during Rob Zombie set. I don't even know if she even recovered, man. Hopefully she's okay. And I inhaled the best corndog I've ever had in my fucking life. And I think it's important that people know this. It was delicious, and you need to have, oh my God. I don't even like corn dogs. And this was so good. It was so good. Anyway, this episode is the full breakdown, Thursday through Sunday. We're going to talk about everything. This is your official, unofficial recap of Aftershock 2025. Let's go. All right, so day one of Aftershock 2025 was a sprint. I'm 46 years old. You know what I mean? I'm not a young dude anyway, but I spent the entire day chasing bands like I was trying to undo 2 decades of aging and 3 days of drinking. It is probably the busiest Thursday I've ever seen at this festival. And I've been doing this thing for 10 years. Not that they've been doing 4 days for 10 years, but since they started doing Thursdays, this is the busiest one. This is honestly the busiest first day of the festival that I have seen since I've been going, okay? And the crowd was massive. They were loud. They were young. They were energetic. I'm talking like TikTok, pop punk kids next to grown-ass adults trying to relive their Hot Topic phase. And then there's me. I'm just over there, I'm just trying to survive and not pull a hamstring. I didn't pull a hamstring, but I fucked my back up, so that kind of sucks. Anyway, we got there right after gates opened on that first day. I parked in my usual spot off Garden Highway. If you saw my viral parking video, you would know the one. If not, you could just go find it on the Mikey in the Pit page or the I Am Mikey Instagram page or over on TikTok, whatever. It like 50,000 people saw that video, and you could tell because the parking absolutely packed up. Okay, it's about a 20-minute walk from the entrance there, but it's totally worth it because it's the same. It's pretty much the same distance as if you pay to use the parking lots that Aftershock recommends, which really they have nothing to do with Aftershock. They're just, I don't know, I don't know what. Aftershock's like, we don't have anything to do with it, but this is where we tell you to park. So you go there, you pay it, and then you can walk. Or you could park where I tell you to park, and you could walk, and it's the same damn distance, and you can save a little bit of money. But I want to be clear. Apparently, some people parked in the apartments. I told you not to park near the apartments. Any apartment. I know I didn't, and in my video, I had like a map behind me where I read it out where you shouldn't park, and I may not have read it out that exact street, but I said don't park by the apartments, and people parked by the apartments, and they all got tickets. So that's your fault, not mine. I also want to say, sorry, a lot of cars got broken into too. That's not my fault either. Here's the thing. I was walking down the street, walking back to my car, and I kept seeing window after window after window smashed. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this sucks. But I would have to assume that's because you left something in your car that people could see and they wanted to break into, because there was tons of shitty cars that didn't get broken into. And then my car didn't get broken into. It's not a shitty car, but I didn't leave any of my stuff out for people to see. So you gotta be careful when you're doing it. You can't just, you gotta hide your stuff. Okay, so if you're gonna park on the street, think logically here. But there's also during the weekend, I told you this too, you can park in some of those parking lots. You just got to be really careful. People will tell you not to, but I'm telling you right now, I've been doing it for years and it's usually all good. I'm not going to guarantee it, but it's usually all good. And that first day too, by the way, it rained. It rained like hell too, man. That first morning, like pouring, like biblical fucking grab two of every animal kind of rain. It was a nightmare. I was like, Jesus, if this is going to rain like this all day, it's got Discovery Park floods. Like that's the park that fills up with water. If we get a good rain in the wintertime here in Sacramento, like if we get one of those atmospheric rivers, that park is a lake. It is a river. It is filled with water and you cannot go in there. So I was a little concerned about that, but we didn't have that problem at all. But by the time we got inside, it had cleared up a little bit, still muddy in spots pretty much all weekend actually. And later in the afternoon, it turned in like to this swampy Sacramento steam where everything sort of smelled like a homeless toilet, which is kind of what Discovery Park is when it's not Aftershock. No offense. I'm just saying that's the truth, people, just so you know. I know people want to go over there and like hide alcohol like a week or two in advance, like put it underground. I wouldn't dig in that. I would not dig in that ground because that is not good. But by the time we got inside, things started moving, man. The rest of the day was pretty perfect, okay? We rolled in. I had my wife, my brother-in-law, my stepson. This was his first rock festival, and he got thrown straight into the fire. And I'm pretty sure he loved it. He had a great time, at least from what I could tell. He only went Thursday because he was like not really into any of the bands the rest of the week. You know, he's 15 years old. He doesn't, I guess he didn't really care. I don't really know. But I was like, you're missing out, buddy. You should be here the whole damn time. But either way, he had a great time. We ran from stage to stage because Thursday's lineup, dude, this was literally my late teens and early 20s, like coming to life. Okay. This took me way back to my beginning radio days. And I saw all these bands play on small stages when they were young, when they were just starting off. It's insane to see them playing in front of, you know, to go from playing in front of 1,000, 1,500 people to, you know, Blink 50,000 people. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild, but it's still very, very cool. And I caught full sets from Bowling for Soup, Hollywood Undead, All American Rejects, Good Charlotte, and of course, Blink 182. I also dipped in to check out Alkaline Trio, All Time Low, Taking Back Sunday. Basically, I tried to absorb 20 years of pop punk therapy in one afternoon. Well, one afternoon and evening. But let me say this right off the bat. Just as we talk about some of these bands real quick, Bowling for Soup, criminally underrated, dude. They were tight as hell, funny as shit, and sounded better than, honestly, half the headliners I've actually ever seen ever. They sounded so awesome, okay? And they had the entire crowd like eating out of the palm of their hands. They even played that Phineas and Ferb song because they sing the intro music to that cartoon. So that was pretty cool. They played that. People got super excited. The whole crowd started singing. I had a video of it. I don't know what the hell happened to it. Then there was All American Rejects. They didn't sound great. They never do, though. I'm going to be honest with you. There's like moments in their songs where they sound really good, but he sings kind of funky. Like his voice is always cracking. He's always going up real high at the end of every sentence and whatever. But either way, they were really funny. They put on a really good show and everybody was into it. So I enjoyed that. Good Charlotte, dude, to me, and I love Blink 182. I might say, I mean, Blink put on a great show, but I think Good Charlotte might have stole the day. They straight up killed it. These guys were up on stage just singing every song that I knew. It was so much fun. And then there was a point where they brought out Derek Whibley. If you're watching this podcast, you can see I'm scrolling through pictures of things that happened that day. They brought out Derek Whibley from Sum 41 for Fat Lip. That was it. That was, everybody went freaking nuts. There was like a core memory unlocked for me, okay? The entire crowd screaming every single word like we were all 20 and emotionally unstable again. And it was amazing to see Good Charlotte and Sum 41 up on a stage together, because I actually saw, they even brought this up. I saw them, I don't know what the year was, but they toured in the early 2000s together, Good Charlotte and Sum 41, and I saw that early ass tour. So it was kind of cool to see them together again up on this stage at Aftershock. It was really cool. And then to close out that night, I mean, again, we're just talking about the bands right now. Close out the night, of course, is Blink-182. Fuck, I don't even know what to say. This was honestly, they closed it out like only Blink-182 can. Okay, dick jokes, fart jokes, the same 3 chords over and over and over again that somehow still make you feel like life might not be that bad. Dude, it was nostalgic. It was everything, but it was nostalgic, not in like a cringy way. You know what I mean, dude? It was honest. It was loud. It was exactly what you wanted from the first day of this festival, what you would expect from Aftershock. I got to point out too, the crowd was totally, I'm just going to leave these pictures up here so you can see this stuff, man. The crowd was freaking wild. Look at this lady's face. I feel like she looks possessed. There's no doubt about it. She looks insane. I might even be one of these people in this crowd. I don't even know. Some of these pictures are from the guys from Aftershock. They sent them on over to me, so I appreciate that. But the crowd was wild, super respectful. I will say that. Super respectful. Mosh pits were crazy. A lot of crowd surfing going on. Full swing. We're going to talk about the crowd surfing throughout this podcast because it was insane. I even did a video. It's over on TikTok and on Instagram. And it's everywhere, actually. You should go check that out. It's actually Mikey's crowd surfing etiquette 101 because some people just don't know. They just don't know what to do. But we'll talk a little bit about crowd surfing and how not to die in this, but you should go check out that video too. It's pretty cool. Anyway, like I said, the crowd was really respectful. Everyone was doing their thing, but I got to talk about the food a little bit here, or more specifically, the thing that tried to assassinate me. These tacos right here, the tacos in the VIP. There wasn't like a name of a place. Like if you're in the VIP area, and you head towards the backside, you start heading like towards the media tent, you pass the big screen that they have and past the merch tent, you head back where the food is. There was a taco stand there, or a taco booth, if you will. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get some tacos. I get tacos every year I go to Aftershock. And I got these. I've never had these tacos. These were the pork tacos. They look delicious. Look at the picture. They look amazing. They tasted fine. But by 2 a.m., I was negotiating with my own stomach like it was holding me hostage. Dude, it was a nightmare. Like right at the end of the night, like right after Blink-182, I was like, I got to go. We got to leave right now. And as we were walking, we're like walking through the crowd. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've never in my life, again, I'm an elderly man. Never in my life did I feel like if I don't make it somewhere, I'm going to fucking shit my pants. And for a second there, I thought I was going to shit my pants and I was nervous. And there was a lot of people, and I didn't know what to do. Luckily, I didn't shit my pants. We get to the car, I forced myself to go to sleep. Like, I just was like, I tell my wife, you got to drive. I'm just going to close my eyes, and I did. I forced myself to go to sleep, slept the whole ride home, which is 25 minutes, whatever. And then booked it in the house and spent the rest of the night pretty much in the bathroom. So that was not fun. It's not good. I don't recommend those tacos. But I do recommend the pizza. I had this pizza from the media tent. This was really, really good. It's usually kind of my go-to when they have it in there. So it was like this wood-fired pizza that was pretty delicious. The other thing I get pretty much every single year, or anytime I see this food truck in the Sacramento area, is the Hefty Fries from Hefty Euro. I think that's what it is, the Hefty Euro truck. Dude, so good. Something I highly recommend. Everybody get these at some point in their life. They are delicious. But those tacos, they tried to kill me. Those bastards, they were out for blood. No idea what did me in. I'm not really sure, actually, if it was the tacos. I'm just blaming the tacos because I had never had those before. Well, I'm going to spare you the details on what all happened. Just know that Friday did not happen for me. I had the passes. I just could not make it. Also, I'd like to know, and maybe someone can explain this to me, and I brought this up last year. I did a whole thing about it and sort of went a little viral because of it. Why are they parking the food trucks by the porta potties? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you do that? Who signed off on, hey, here's a $20 burrito and a breeze of, I don't know, chemical toilet air? Let's rethink that if you can. I mean, I get maybe there's no other way to do it. Like, I'm not sure about the logistics and shit like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you don't know what you don't know type thing. But I do know I don't want the porta potties and the food right next to each other. I mean, close, but not literally right across from each other. I don't know. I guess that's just me. Anyway, they also moved a bunch of shit around too. The Coors Light stage got pushed over a little bit further, gave people more room, which was kind of nice. The big Aftershock sign got moved. We're going to talk about the Aftershock sign here in a little bit, dude. This huge, massive group of people I had come out and take a picture with us. So that got moved a little bit too. The Jiboom. Is that the name? I think I've lived here for 1,000 years. I don't even know the name of the street. Jibaboom? It's Jibboom. It's the dumbest name for a street ever, but it is one of the entrances into Aftershock. So they sort of moved that a little bit too. Still in the same area, but kind of because they were moving things around in that area that I guess maybe they had to move it some. But I don't really go in that entrance. I avoid that entrance because I don't really like where it leads, but whatever. Either way, they had moved some other stuff. They put there was this big ass werewolf that you could go and take pictures with, but they moved it behind a barricade. So it kind of makes your pictures it's kind of harder to take pictures with the guy. The dive bar that they had was pretty cool. I'm gonna play you a video real quick. This is actually pretty awesome. It's dark. It had a foosball table. It honestly felt like an actual bar. Check this out. I'll give you a little walkthrough. Here we go right in. Right under. Here's a board. Here we go. Check it out. Look around. This is really like a typical bar. People just hanging out at tables. There's bars over there on the other side. And there's games and stuff. Pretty cool. I didn't know that this was going to be there, so I was pretty excited about that. Liked the bar, thought it was a cool thing. I like that little added touch to it if you wanted to get a break or something. And then if it was like too hot, you can go in there and maybe cool off a little. Pretty nice, pretty cool thing. They also like slapped a bunch of new art under the bridge too, which looked kind of awesome, but also like it was sort of near where the food, it made it feel a little cramped. Not going to lie. It just sort of like, they boxed some of it out, but I think the reason why they boxed it out is because they put a little hidden speakeasy in one of them. Didn't even know about that. I'm kind of mad that I didn't find out about it until after the fact. Like, what the fuck, Aftershock? You should at least tell me that, like, if I'm going to go and do reviews and walk around and talk to people and stuff, like, just tell me. You don't have to tell me that there's something there, but tell me there's secrets. And now that I know that you guys are secretly doing shit, I'm going to have to look for these things now. But there was, if you guys didn't see the speakeasy, man, there was like fucking somebody handing drinks like out of a wall. Pretty cool though. So that was the first day. I will say this, leaving was pure hell. I mentioned it a second ago because I had to go to the bathroom, but there was like, right after Blink-182 wrapped up, you got 50,000 people trying to funnel out of these two exits. It took us like 30 to 40 minutes just to get up like to the street to where we had to walk another 20 minutes to get to the car. So kind of rough, but overall day one was definitely awesome. It was loud. It was messy, sweaty, hilarious, borderline spiritual. I almost died, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It was a great fucking time. My stepson's first festival, he's now wanting to go every single year. So that worked out really well. Although now it might get a little bit more expensive for me and his mom, but it is what it is. He'll recover. And that was just Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, but I didn't go Friday. So I can't give you any updates on Friday other than I know that it was packed and people were excited to see Deftones. I gotta be honest, I'm not a Deftones fan, so I'm not gonna, I know people are like, what the fuck? How do you like metal? You don't like Deftones? Like, fuck off. Look, I don't like what I don't like, and I like what I do like. I don't have to like the Deftones, I just don't get it. As a band, they're good. I've said this 1,000 times. The singer rubbed me the wrong way a long time ago. I'm not one to hold a grudge, but I don't forget type situation. You know what I mean? Like I'll forgive, but I'm not going to forget. And he was a dick, and he was a dick more than one time. And because that it is what it is, I just don't get it. And I just don't think he's a great singer, but whatever, not my problem. Whatever, people like it. People had a great time, and that's all that really matters. But since I was literally near death because of the freaking rogue pork tacos I ate, I didn't go. But Saturday was a fucking resurrection, dude. We rolled in a little late, probably about 1:30, because, I was still recovering from seeing the inside of my toilet for 12 hours straight. But by the time we got there, dude, I was freaking back, okay? Fully operational. And this day was wild, bro. Wild. Can we talk about the crowd surfing here for a second? Hey, let me put this picture up on the screen. This is just one person crowd surfing, this kid with these spikes in his hair. He is doing it right. He is doing right. Again, make sure you go check out my crowd surfing video. I have never, and I mean not once in 30 years of going to shows, seen so many people being yeeted over the crowd. Never. It was crazy. It was constant too. Every stage, every single band, there were bodies flying over people, flying over barricades. It's like they were tossing out samples at Costco. It was insane, dude. And security was like, whatever, no big deal. They didn't care. They just, pulled people over the barricades and send them on their way. Hell, sometimes they were just letting people fall. Like, fucking fall. Do your thing. And then people go back, and next thing you know, it's the same person who just fell. There you go. I mean, it was crazy. Like, it really, really was. But I went straight into the pit. I was in the pit for a lot of the shows, or a lot of the performances on Saturday. Especially, I had to go for Chevelle, had to go for Slaughter to Prevail. Like, I had to see that wall of death up close and personal. He had a hard time getting that wall of death together. He was trying to get people to do it. And when Aftershock is set up a little differently than some of the other festivals. Like, there's a middle part that separates the two sides. So like, you're just looking at the main stage here. And usually there's people all the way in front of the stage, but not here. There's a middle part that is either for, is if you get thrown out as your crowd serving, or photographers and shit like that, and they run up and down, they take pictures, and security's in there. So it's really hard to separate the two. So he kind of had to have two walls of death. So one on the left side and one on the right side, and he was trying to get that together. He eventually got it together, but it wasn't easy. And I can tell you, it took him a minute. It almost was like, dude, just get on with the show because you're wasting so much time. But that's part of their show, is the wall of death. So you can't just not do it. He has to do it. But anyway, back to Chevelle. Here's fucking Pete, man. These guys, incredible as always. Here's a shot from the stage from Slaughter to Prevail. You can look and see. I don't have the wall of death shot, but you can see there was a lot of people. If you look closely, look down, right down, there's me, right? I'm just kidding. You can't see me in there, but I'm in there. I'm in there with my microphone. I'm talking to people. Mikey in the pit. What the fuck you guys doing? Trying to fight people and shit. This is a good time. I'm just kidding. I didn't fight anybody. But I was walking around Saturday. If you saw me, we may have talked. I don't know. I was live streaming. I was interviewing festival goers, talking shit with fans. I did a walkthrough of the VIP and the GA, just sort of living it all. So if you weren't there, you were able to follow along and at least get an idea what it's like. And I'm not going to say you were able to feel it, but you were able to understand, what goes on there. And if you missed it, maybe you'll come next year, because that's the ultimate goal, is to get more and more people there. And as I was walking around talking to people, or walking through the VIP, I was like, I think I'm going to do a separate podcast on the VIP. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Compared, and also talk about the Capital Club, which is like the SVIP or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It is actually called the Capital Club. I'm a friend, pretty good friends with one of the bartenders in there. I'm going to have her come on, and she's going to talk about the Capital Club and tell us what that was like and what the people in the Capital Club were like. But we'll do that one next week. So tune in for that. Right now we're talking about specifically Aftershock. Band-wise on Saturday, Chevelle, best I've ever seen them. Seriously, just incredible, clean, heavy, zero bullshit. Just played their shit. Very excited to see them again, because it had been a couple of years. 3 Days Grace, dude, haven't seen them in forever, because they sort of broke up and then brought that guy from My Darkest Day to be the lead singer, which was a little awkward, a little weird. That guy's a porn star dancing or whatever. Sounds good as their singer, but now Adam Gontier, I think is Gontier. Not really 100% sure how to say his last name, but he's back. And they had both singers up on the stage. This is just a picture of Adam, but they had both guys up on the stage, and dude, that sounded awesome. They sounded massive, and the crowd loved it. They were into it totally. And of course, Korn, Saturday. I mean, Korn closed it all out. Korn is always good. It's Korn. I'm not going to say anything bad about it. Their show is always good. It's pretty much the same almost every time I see it, but they could fucking play the inside of a garbage truck and still melt your face off. I mean, they're just that damn good. I did miss a lot of the early openers that day because I showed up late, but I bounced around and caught some of the other smaller acts poked in on the stages, and the energy was next level. Everybody was having a damn good time. The crowd was rowdier than they were on Thursday. It was heavier music, so you kind of just have to expect that, I guess. And not a problem. I enjoyed that. I think that's pretty cool. But one of the best things that happened on Saturday was not something that I expected. It's something I planned, but not what I expected. 3 p.m. I had set up wanted to have this group shot in front of the massive Aftershock sign. A lot of people do this. And I see at other festivals, Louder Than Life and shit like that, Sonic, Temple, and Incarceration, and all those festivals. People do these big group shots. And I've been doing one for the past 3 years since I was let go from the radio station that I used to work at. And it was like, I'm gonna see how big I can build this, because I've been doing podcasts and I get a pretty big following. And the first year was pretty cool. There's maybe 30 people. The second year, maybe like 75 people or something. But this year, I'm going to show you this picture. Had to be hundreds. Look at this. You can't even see the sign. Like, that even isn't even the whole thing. You can't even see the sign or how deep this group of people was. Like, the Aftershock sign straight up disappeared behind this crowd. If there was a Guinness record for most people repping a podcast in front of a giant metal letters sign, I'd own it. I'd be the winner of that award. Because let me put that back up there again. So you look at that. Look at that shit. People wish they could do that. I put that on Facebook and people were losing their fucking minds. They were trying to find themselves in the picture and stuff. It was very cool. And then, like, honestly, the rest of the day, even in that time, my co-host from one of my other shows from Not That Damn Show, 2N Jen, she was there. And dude, it just felt like celebrities. There's people coming up to us, picture left and right, pulling, let me get a picture, pulling us. And it was really cool and weird and surprising. And I didn't know what to make of it, but I appreciate it. That's for damn sure. And honestly, that was the whole day. People were coming up to me all day wanting pictures, talk about the podcast, wearing Not That Damn Show shirts, wearing a Mikey podcast shirt, like Mikey in the Pit, I follow you online, all this other stuff. I mean, dude, my dumb face is in more selfies than half the bands. It's pretty insane. I honestly, like, I'm sure that if the bands were walking around, they'd be getting the same shit, but it was awesome. And honestly, I fucking loved it. So I really appreciate that. I would take that real organic community shit over the radio shit any day. This is real. This is something that I created with you people. Hey, what do you mean you people? But you get what I'm saying, right? I appreciate you guys. I can't even tell you what that means to me. And I think it's being recognized by a lot of people, because it's not just Danny Wimmer Presents, like the guys over at DWP, they're seeing it because other things are happening next year with DWP and Mikey in the Pit and the Mikey podcast and Not That Damn Show. And I'm really excited. I can't wait to tell you these things. And once everything gets lined up and lined out, and I'm really, really excited. But so I appreciate them noticing. I appreciate you guys coming up and saying hi. It's awesome. Anyway, so what's next? What else? I wanted to talk to you more. I got to tell you about more food. Food wise, for that day, I had redemption, full blown redemption, because I ate the walking taco. I know I should. I was like, I had those tacos the other day and I almost died, but I ate the walking taco. Look at this fucking shit. Look at how delicious that looks. As delicious as it looks, it was even better in my mouth. That's what she said. It was honestly, it was like, you ever had a Doritos Locos taco from Taco Bell? It was like that in a bowl, but better, like way better. And then I had the best corn dog I've ever had in my entire life. That was actually my wife wanted to get a corn dog earlier in the day. I was like, all right, she got it and it looked really good. I'm like, let me get a bite. I'm not a big corn dog fan, but this was the best corn dog I ever had. So it's not from the VIP. This corn dog is in the GA, like the backside. If you're, and I'm going to say this because I think it's going to be there next year too. So I want you guys to get this corn dog if you haven't had it. If you're looking at the two stages, it's the shockwave stage, that side, but the back side, there's some food. Like, I think there's it's sort of generic food in a tent. Not by the noodles and all that other shit. If you come around the corner, there's like burgers and chicken strips and whatever. There's a corn dog place. Get that fucking corn dog. It's the best corn dog you've ever had in your life. I promise you. I've had corn dogs all over this country. Disneyland corn dogs, fucking Bishop's Farm, Apple Hill, all that stuff. I've murdered them all, not because I wanted to, but just because sometimes you're hungry and you got to eat something. And it's easy. This corn dog was way better. Way better than any corn dog. I don't know. I keep talking about the corn dog. I got to move on. I got to get past this. The only downside was on Saturday was that I had waited too long to hit the merch tent. because I wanted to get a hoodie, and all the hoodies, like literally every hoodie was gone of every kind. And I wanted a specific one that had this cool ass bear on the back and shit. And I can order it. I can order it online, I guess, but they didn't have any there. I mean, what do you expect, man? That's my fault. That's not their fault. You know what I mean? You don't want to shop for hoodies or really anything cool on night 3, because they did it at night 3 of a 4-day festival. Most of the shit was gone. I didn't even think about it because I didn't go Friday, so my timing was all thrown off. And I mean, they had shit. They had nothing. They just like, even the t-shirts was like leftover fucking mediums and shit. Vendor wise, throughout the entire venue, I gotta be honest with you, I still miss they used to have like I think it's Cola's what sponsored a spot, which is one of the big weed people, like big weed delivery or whatever farms. And they used to have this spot in there where you could go, you get weed delivered to you, can hang out, you can smoke a little pod and just chill out for a little bit, but they don't have that anymore. So I wish they would have that, but they didn't. But there were some cool vendors, I guess, some good, some bad, a couple of cool sponsor booths, nothing really to do. I mean, some cool art, I guess. The tattoo thing is a cool idea, except for when you go and you look at the tattoo, like a tattoo this big is $170. Like, I'm covered in tattoos, and I was like, oh, I'll go get a tattoo if it's reasonably priced, like this big, $170. Suck a dick. I'm not getting a tattoo. Get the hell out of here. If I go to incarceration next year, which I plan on going, that's a little something with my DWP people. I'm going to get a tattoo there, because I feel like you kind of have to. There's like, a bunch of people inside the prison that are tattooing, so I think I should get a tattoo there. But this was like, I'll pay the extra money, I guess. But that was ridiculous. I was pretty mad about it. One thing I do notice about Aftershock, and people do this all the time, is people dress up. Like, there's like different costumes and shit like that. So some of the costumes I saw is a Cookie Monster. I saw Elmo. I saw Teletubbies. I saw like a bunch of different Jesuses walking around. I saw a dude dressed as a taco. He's there every single year. People dressed in like matching colored coded outfits, and girls walking around 90% naked, 110% confident. Like, some of it was like, hey, maybe you should put some clothes on. I'm not judging. Yeah, I am a little bit. You shouldn't dress like that. I mean, if you got it, flaunt it, I guess. But don't force it. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm being visually raped by somebody who shouldn't be wearing what they're wearing. You know what I'm saying? I support you, ladies and men, but, reel it in a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Just calm down. The end of the night on Saturday, though, was pretty easy. Way smoother than that first night. I think they kind of got the logistics sort of figured out for exiting. They get their shit together. There was no real, like, mass panic. There was no funnel of doom like it was on Thursday. It was just a calmish sea of drunk people, sunburned people, just waddling towards the streets, waddling towards their cars and ride shares and all that other good stuff. But dude, Saturday for me left me feeling like a fucking rock star. Not even kidding, okay? Not because I played in a band or anything like that, but because of the people that listen to that listen to all my podcasts, that follow me on social media. It's because of you. You guys made me feel fucking great that day. And I appreciate that, which is part of the reason why I do what I do, not to make myself feel good, but to sort of pay you guys back forever for being a part of this and for following me along. This is why I try to give away tickets and try to do fun stuff for you guys. I really appreciate that. It really means a lot, because literally all day people kept coming up to me and they would say and say what the podcast means to them, like how long they've been listening. And they've listened to me since they were on the radio. They've been following me since my radio days, whatever. They've been following me since before this. They followed me when I moved to New York and Boston and back and all this other stuff, man. You guys know how to make somebody feel really good. And that's what makes Aftershock so special for me, though. It really is. It's not just about seeing Korn fucking rip it up on stage or anything. It's about walking through 50,000 people and feeling like I actually belong. And people knowing me and people shouting, hey, Mikey, what the fuck? How you doing? Blah, blah, high five and shit like that. So Saturday was everything. It was awesome. It was amazing. And somehow we still had one more day to go. So by Sunday, the energy was a little feral. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else to put it. It's just like, it was still crazy, but it was some people were a little bit more chill. Some people were a little off the rocker. Some people were mad. Some people were somber. Some people covered in mud, all kinds of shit. But this was the last day. The last day always brings out, you know, the walking wounded. You know what I mean? Like the knees shot, voices gone, sunburned necks, like I was saying, you know, like just people just barely surviving. But this year, it felt a little different. I don't know why. I don't know what it was, but something about Sunday just like, Sunday was like launched into orbit is a good way to put it, because like Bring Me the Horizon, that was the band that closed out the entire night. They had their stage was a literal spaceship. It was insane. I'm not even a Bring Me the Horizon fan. I was like, this is kind of fucking dope. Good job, guys. Chimaira returned, like I said. The West Coast have been like, what, 11 years since they've been here. That was cool. I actually talked to one of the old members of Chimaira who's now in Spine Shank. I'll be posting those. I'll be posting all my interviews and stuff later, probably next week, early next week, or even over the weekend. So make sure you just follow me on social media so you can check those out. I talked to a few different people. GWAR, they gave us the 40-year blood bath. It was like 40 years of blood. They were just squirting it. I mean, people, like I said, people were walking out looking like they just got their asses kicked. They're like they were extras in a slasher film. It was pretty cool. A couple of my friends like posting their pictures. Like I saw one of my friends, actually is my co-host, she posted a picture of her daughter online and she had blood on her face and she looked like she got her ass kicked. And I'm like, oh my God, is she okay? And turns out it was just GWAR. So I saw GWAR too back in the media tent. It's so funny too, because I'm trying to talk to other people and their GWAR's over in their fucking costumes and shit, talking to whoever, and they're always talking like this. Hey, it's like, dude, you don't really sound like that, but they're space aliens. What do you expect? And then let's see, what else happened Sunday? I'm trying to think here. There's a lot of weird shit. Like I mentioned, there was the like Aftershock doing a bunch of new things that I didn't even know about, like the speakeasy thing under the overpass. They had the surprise beatbox pop-up sets, which was really cool. The local band Titan, I talked to those guys too. I talked to actually Ryan from Titan, his lead singer. He puts on the Titan Festival. I'll put that interview out later too. So they had those guys up on the stage too, and a couple other bands, which was really cool. The Capitol Club thing, like I said, that is sort of if you don't know exactly what that is, I'll do a whole podcast on VIP versus GA versus Capitol Club. Capitol Club's all inclusive. And you get like skyline views, you're hanging out with like rich people, and you get drinks, get soft lighting, and also get food and shit. It's like $2,000. But if this is your vacation, if this is something you plan for every single year, or if you have the money, why not do it? It includes all your drinks. It includes all your food. It's a good idea. If I had it, I would do it. DWP, you guys just give me the pass so I can just go and be a part of it, so I can talk about it instead of just talking to a bartender who isn't. Not that there's anything wrong with the bartender. I'm just saying, like, hey, put me in there. I want to see it. I don't want to spend the money, but I want you guys to just put me in there. Anyway, so Sunday started a little bit slow, though, because like I said, I spent a decent chunk of the first half of the day in the media tent, which shout out to DWP. The media tent was awesome this year. The free drinks were back. Last year, they kind of took them away, and they did take them away, but you were getting discounted drinks, which was fine. I didn't complain about it. I even said, I was like, it sucks a little bit that they don't have the free drinks, but I don't want to feel entitled. The fact that we get discounted drinks was awesome. They didn't have food last year, but they did this year. The year before they had food. It's like so weird how they figure out whatever they're going to do, but they had this wood fire pizza. It was solid. It's like, for those of you that don't know, the media tent is cool. It's like this little backstage world full of like rock stars and podcasters and influencers and washed up radio people pretending they still matter, not naming names, but you know who the fuck they are. They know who they are. You know who you are. Let it go. Just stop. Just I post one picture and it gets 300 likes and 80 something shares. You guys post a video interviewing one of the biggest bands and like 3 people watched it. So I don't know. Just saying. Maybe think something, maybe try something different. I don't know what to say here. I just move on past these guys. But honestly, the media tent was pretty cool. It's where some of the best shit happens. Like I said, I talked to Ryan from Titan, talked to the guys from Spine Shank, one of the dudes from Chimaira. We get a little talk back and forth about Cleveland a little bit. Paul McCoy from 12 Stones, just a bunch of people. And like I said, I'll get all those interviews up. as soon as I can. It's just been a real busy week, and I'm trying to get caught up in everything. But I'll have everything up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the shit. Make sure you're following along. Make sure you check it all out. Let's see some of the bands. Let's talk about Rob Zombie for a second. This was insane. He's Rob Zombie. Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? I've never seen him or heard him sound better. He was amazing. This is a cool ass picture of Rob Zombie right here, but I want to talk about this crowd for a second. And I know I've mentioned crowd surfing a couple of times, and again, go check out the etiquette video of crowd surfing I just did. It is on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the places. I have never in my life seen so many people crowd surf for one set, literally ever. Not joking. I'm 110 years old, maybe even 111, could be 120. I don't know. But I've been to a lot of shows, a lot of concerts, and never, ever, ever, ever have I seen that many people. Okay. The weekend was already insane with it, the entire weekend, but people were flying through the air all 4 days. Okay. It's like crowd control was optional for this, but for during Rob Zombie, it reached peak human launch velocity. Is the only way I could put this. It was insane. I helped at least 10 people up, myself up and over and push them. You know, you gotta think about it. Go. Do it. Yeah, let's go. And people was like, I want to go up. All right, let's go. Let's make it happen. You know, they make the eye contact with you. They give you the sign. It's like, you look at you up. Yeah, all right, get a couple of guys, put them up. You shout, hands up, so everybody knows. You know, real quick, one tip, stay stiff. Please. And like I said, check the video out for all the etiquette, but the number one tip to know is stay stiff. Cross your legs if you want to. It's definitely going to be helpful. You don't have to like cross your arms like this, although again, that would help too, but I know people want to hold their phones and shit. Just stay stiff. Don't be all fucking limp and flailing around like a weirdo. It's fucking insane. Don't do that shit. But I have to bring this up. There was this one moment. This is key. This tiny little chick, maybe 90 pounds. You know what I mean? She's all, you know, she's cute. She's dressed like rocks. You know, she's ready. She's having a great time. She's doing her thing. She's at Aftershock. She's living her best life, whatever. She taps me on the shoulder. She's like, I want to go up. I'm like, all right, cool. We'll put in, there's another big dude over there. There's another guy right there. We're like, let's fucking make it happen. So she's like, leans back. We pick her ass up. All right. And we fucking hoist her up. And then we float her forward, you know what I mean, the way you're supposed to. And we yell at everybody, you know, heads up, here she comes, let's do it. The people in front of me, though, apparently they were fucking done. They've had enough with the crowd surfers. They didn't give a single shit. They just looked at her and fucking just let her drop. They like moved out of the way and just boom, drop right on her fucking back. Like super hard, dude, full force. I mean, look, Rob Zombie's up on stage, killing it, and I felt the thump from her landing on her back. It was brutal, dude. Like a cartoon sound effect, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how bad it was. And I felt terrible for her. She just sat there, you know, she sat on her butt for a minute, like stunned completely. She finally got up. Like you could tell she was upset. She got up. She didn't clap for Rob. She didn't cheer. She didn't do nothing. She just stared at the stage for a minute, and then you can tell she was looking at her phone, probably fucking texting somebody saying, these assholes dropped me. I'm broken. My back is broken. Come get me. Honestly, I felt a little bad. I really did. It was a little funny at the same time, but I felt really, really bad. I don't even know what happened to her. I'm sure she's fine. She was standing, so her back wasn't broken, but damn, just bad. Rob Zombie sounded amazing though, like I said, anyway, and always. And a Mudvayne, fuck, let me put this picture of fucking Chad up there. Look at that. That's crazy. That's a great picture. Mudvayne, they killed it. They were just absurdly loud, like your soul leaves your body loud. And I loved it. Again, it's another band that I've seen in a very small, tiny ass venue. And now they're playing in front of, you know, this isn't the first time I've seen them at a festival. I saw them a couple years ago at Aftershock, or maybe it was last year. But I love seeing them perform in these huge, massive audiences, in front of these huge, massive audiences. But I also really, really do love seeing them in a small setting, because you just don't get the feeling you get when you're inside of a small club and you see a band like Mudvayne. In this moment, pure theater every single time. That chick is basically the Marilyn Manson, the female version of Marilyn Manson. She's really, really good. And actually, speaking of Marilyn Manson, best I've ever seen him. Look at him. He's got fucking power right there. It's the best I have ever seen. I've been seeing Manson since the 90s. All right. And he's never sounded this good. He was sober, at least according to him. He was sober. He said that on stage, by the way. Sharp, on point, just not even a little bit of a disaster. It was so good. It was weird, but in a good way. You know, like I had, for like the past year as he toured and he's been on tour and he's playing different festivals and whatever, I've seen a lot of people like, Manson sounds so good, better than he's ever sounded. I'm like, yeah, I'll be the judge of that myself, because I seen him when he was good back in the day. And I also seen him when he was terrible. And this was the best performance I've ever seen in my life from Marilyn Manson. So good job, dude, getting your shit together. You're fucking killing it. Not that you care what I have to say, but I'm just telling you, you did an amazing job. Let's talk about the food real quick. Something I've been talking about wanting to get every year, and I never do, is this thing on the screen right here. This is called a ramen burrito, and it is fucking insane. I cannot recommend this thing enough. It's ramen noodles, fucking meat, sauce, all jammed into a giant tortilla. Yeah, let's just call it a tortilla. What the hell's wrong with me? It was insane. It's like the unholy fusion of Japan and Mexico in a bowl. And then these little fucking, those pot stickers, dude. Unreal. And I will get that every single time I'm there. So damn good. It was everything, and I regret absolutely nothing for eating that. Again, another day, we got stopped for pictures all damn day. Mikey in the pit, NTDS fans, people who follow me online, random strangers yelling, "Hey, are you that podcaster?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what's up, man. What are you fucking doing?" Dude, it was crazy. I felt like another rock star just walking around with my wife. Like, what the fuck? It was cool, man. I can't thank you guys enough for making me feel loved and appreciated. It really does mean a lot to me. For the end of the night, we dipped out about halfway through Bring Me the Horizon. I'm not really a big Bring Me the Horizon fan, but they were there. I was tired anyway. You know what I'm saying? They're good. They're fine. Whatever. I was just exhausted, man. My legs were giving out, and I wanted to leave while I could still feel my feet. And I wanted to grab one of those street meat hot dogs as I walked out, man. It's good stuff. The exit again for this one was smooth. Plus, again, we left a little earlier, so I can't say what it was like when Bring Me the Horizon was over, but it was all good. There were a bunch of other bands that we saw. In some I liked, some I did not like. I'm not going to name every single band. There's 115 bands there, but maybe I'll do some separate videos on why I like some bands and why I didn't want to go see some of the other ones or whatever. But just make sure you're following me along. As for Aftershock 2025, though, that's your recap. It was incredible. It was amazing. It was one of the best years. Even though I missed a day, it was one of the best years Aftershock has ever had. And next year, it doesn't just start or end with Aftershock. We've already been in touch with the folks over at DWP. I told that they know what we're building here. They know how far we've come. And they know where we're going, and their response is, we're in. So this is pretty cool, man. We're going to work with these guys to, we're going to work and take this out a little bit further. We're going to hit up some of the other DWP festivals, at least 2 other DWP festivals next year. Who knows? Maybe even more. I'm not sure. We're going to have more boots on the ground, more interviews, more behind the scenes, more giveaways, all kinds of cool shit. Full on Mikey in the Pit coverage for NTDS, the Mikey podcast, and of course, Muscatello Media. We're not just showing up and enjoying the show anymore. We're becoming part of this thing. We're becoming something I never imagined we would become. And it's, again, because of you guys, and I appreciate all of it. Every year, it gets louder, bigger, better, realer. The community grows. It's incredible. This community, the Dammits, the Pit crew, the people who've been listening since day one, you guys are all part of this. And it's all because of you, and it's why we want to give back and do everything we can to make sure you guys can get out to those festivals and have a great time. Hey, we didn't build this thing to sell out. We built it because we fucking love it. And now it's growing into something that even the industry can't ignore. And so that's a pretty cool fucking feeling. So this year, that's Aftershock 2025. It was insane. Next year, friends, we are just fucking getting started. So thanks for checking out the show. And until next time, I'll see you in the pit.